Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're back to collecting Rosen Score trophies for playing wacky openings. The first letter of your opening moves will spell out a word, and then you must win the game. My goal is to win a game with bad egg. Let's dive in. Alright, for this challenge we're going to play 3-0 because it gives me just enough time to figure out the kinks of the opening, but it also gives me the possibility of flagging the opponent. So we've played a B move, now we need an A move, a D move, and then this is the really tough part. We go E, and the killer is G, and then G again. But weirdly enough, we're actually defended here, so it's kind of okay. Of course, immediately we're targeted because this is a 2000 plus rated opponent. They're not just going to let that slide, but we're going to try to hold on. I mean, H5 is not ideal, but we're going to have to deal with the repercussions of this if we want to be able to flex that trophy. Let's just put the bishop on the long diagonal. I think that's reasonable. We'll develop the knights towards the center, sort of like, what is this, a cow, or what's the other one, hippo? I don't know which one this is, to be honest. We get E4. We could close the center. We could just leave the tension, to be frank. And I think I'm fine with that. We'll play bishop to G2. Should they capture, we just take back with the pawn, and we still have two pawns in the center, albeit on the third rank. We get pawn to H6. Don't think that changes much. Actually, knight to F3 here would make a lot of sense. There's no reason for me to play super passive, so we might as well develop normally where we can. That's the other thing. You have to try not to get in your head about, oh, I've played a total nothing burger opening that gives me zero chances or advantage. Although bishop to D6 means I could take and double their pawns. But then F5, looking for the break, and I think that kind of leans into what their plan would be anyways. So let's just play queen to E2. I'm not really going to commit my king until I see where they commit theirs. Their setup is obviously significantly more concrete and flexible than ours. Ours is kind of all over the place at the moment, but I don't know how much more time I can buy myself here. I don't know that I have many more waiting moves. I could just go E4, just go for the central break, but at that point I'd rather be castled. So let's castle out of the way first. If the opponent follows suit, then we're in for just a normal game of chess. If they don't, we might go for the center break. I'm also really down on time, so if I want any chance of flagging my opponent, I better pick up the pace. Let's play E4 now. We'll see if they decide to engage. Oh, they do. How interesting. Okay, here, looking for E5. Knight back, but then we capture. Oh, they play knight to E5, so we'll go for the trades, sure. Bishop takes. I guess I'll just take back. F4 is kind of weird because queen D4 follows with check, so maybe not that exactly. How about knight to C4? I'd be very happy to get this trade. Then I have a bishop. Oh, very nice. Okay, do I take with the queen or with the pawn? I'm pretty sure I take with the pawn because then I have this weakness on B7 that I can target. Right, now rook B1, we target the weakness. If I can ever get this bishop open, then that would be very nice. F4 seems like the natural way to do that, but queen D4 is kind of annoying, so I'm going to play this first, looking for F4 and then looking for E5. Ah, they play B5 to get that weakness off their backs as fast as possible. We'll go and take. Now they have a passed pawn here, which, you know, is not great for our position. Let's go here. Put some pressure on the passed pawn. They decide to push it. We'll play F4, start pushing pieces back, and actually justify having this bishop against their knight. Okay, queen goes back, E5, just keep pushing. Right, forces the knight back. Let's go ahead and centralize the bishop with some ideas of targeting this knight, which is actually trapped at the moment. Okay, we're definitely pushing this pawn, and if I can protect it, we're in a great spot there. Oh, rook to E8 is really interesting because there's this now. Rook to E7, F5, but maybe I just trade. Okay, I'm just gonna take. I'm really low on time here. I need to play practical moves. 40 seconds to my opponent's minute and 30 is not great. We'll go ahead and shuffle the rook over. Should they push, there's no way to protect it more because I'm catching that square. So now I should just be winning the pawn, I think. Yeah, now I just double down on the pawn, or triple down rather. Ooh, okay, they slide back. We'll slide back as well. We're still threatening to take it. Okay, take, and then we're gonna try to go for B5. Oh, H3 is dropping. Oh, with the fork. Okay, but luckily we have rook to G2 as a last ditch resource. Go ahead and trade, and we should be better here unless they decide to move the rook out of the way, in which case, I don't know, G4 is still weak, and I don't love my position. Yeah, they do decide to just move out of the way. We'll try for rook to G3. We're down to 30 seconds, but the opponent is slowly catching up, falling behind. How do I say that we're getting even on time? I guess I just push here. Ooh, okay, I take. Interesting way for the opponent to play this. Okay, I need to focus up here. I'm really low. Nice, insane comeback. Wow, that was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, we won our very first game. I think we did this in the last episode as well, which is crazy. I don't know if you guys caught what happened there, but right here, I recaptured. The opponent moved to defend the pawn to stop it from promoting. Of course, I defended my pawn, and they made probably the most challenging move. Now here, I figured I wasn't going to win, so I might as well go for the draw by promoting, which distracts the rook, allows me to capture the pawn. My king is too far away from my own pawn, so my opponent can now come and take it, and that's rook versus rook, which I would just trade off. King versus king is a draw. But the opponent played rook to c3. And I said, wait a minute, I have a queen on the board. Now at this point, I had a little less time than my opponent, so obviously they were going to try to play for the flag. But in these positions that are really, really open, where there's like a hanging piece and the king is exposed, it's like rich farmland for forks. You just have to be able to find them. So immediately I tried to bring my queen closer to the center, of course with check, trying to make my opponent play forcing moves. They centralized the king. I gave another check, centralizing my rook. They captured the pawn. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I just need to coordinate these two pieces. So the queen is hitting the king, well, maybe not like that, and the rook at the exact same time. So I played check. Now I have a nice little battery. So anywhere I move in the center the queen is protected by the rook. He moves down, there's my fork, found it, check, check, they move up, so now I know my ladder's mate is going to be in this direction. I mean, I could reconfigure, I guess that would have been fine too, but that's a lot of extra thinking, and even though I am up on time, I didn't actually know that at the moment, so I was just playing as fast as I could, and then from this point, whenever the queen is behind the rook, and the king is staring at it, wherever the queen moves, she basically creates like a force field that the king can never capture into. So the rook is perfectly safe on all of these squares thereafter. So you can pre-move here, then the rook follows, always protected. Here, then the rook follows, always protected. So I just pre-moved all those moves, and somehow we got away with the first victory for Bad Egg. Now, I'll admit I didn't expect to win this so quickly, but I hope you guys did find it entertaining and maybe learned a thing or two. If you guys have any more Rosenscore challenges, I know there's a lot more than just openings, and that's what I've been grinding because I would like to finish that little corner of it up before I continue forward. But if there are any other challenges that you are interested in seeing me do, please recommend them down below, and I'd be happy to give them a try. I will see you guys in the next one.